Hi, this is Traptano, internet's busiest trap, rap and R&B nerd, and today we are reviewing YNW Melly's much awaited Just a Matter of Slime album. Also stick with me till the end to find out what's next for YNW Melly after the release of the album, but also stick with me to see how Melly's career could look in the next 5 years. But before that, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more awesome content like this. And now, let's get cracking! For those following me for the past couple of months must have seen that Melly's rollout process has been quite a long one, as he first announced the project on 21st of March and asked us about what features we would like to see on the album. For more details on the rollout, you can check out my YNW Melly playlist up here in the corner, where I talk more in depth about everything prior to the release of the album. During the rollout process, 4 singles have dropped: Tugged Out, Pieces, YNS and Best Friends for Life, with all of them failing to chart or to make any sorts of buzz, which personally made me worried for the album, but at the same time I hope that they leave the best for the last, leaving their strongest offerings for the release of the album. Then in late July the name and cover art were revealed and it was announced that the album will release on the 6th of August, but unfortunately this didn't happen as a 100k track decided against releasing the album in order to prepare more surprises for it, increasing the tracklist from 10 to 12 songs. Now let's take a look at what these 12 songs have to offer and look at all the good, bad and ugly of the album. I'll start off by saying that the album is better than I initially thought, as I was really worried for it, especially after hearing Kodak Black's Behind the Bar project Bill Israel, which was quite lackluster and showed that Kodak barely had anything left within his vault. Well, this wasn't really the case for Melly. The album definitely has some hit-worthy material on it, especially the opening track, Mind of Melvin, featuring Lil Uzi Vert, being a strong contender to hit the charts. The song has everything needed to turn into a certified hit, from a catchy chorus to a Lil Uzi Vert feature. Plus it has a video music directed by Drew Filmed It, which in less than a day already had 500,000 views. Plus let's not forget that the song was a highly sought after leak within the Melly community, dozens of diehard fans waiting to finally add the song onto their Spotify or Apple Music playlists, something that will probably just further push the song up the charts. The second contender for a possible hit is Take Care featuring Lil Durk and Lil Baby, about which my subscribers must know that I was really fond of when it initially leaked. This one too packs more than plenty of star power through Lil Durk and Lil Baby, two of the hottest commodities on the market right now. I think the song will go sort of unnoticed for now, as people channel all their energy mostly onto the Mind of Melvin. But when the music video of Take Care drops, I think it's just a matter of time till it reaches its full potential. The third possible hit within the album could be Capri Sun Fun, featuring Young Thug, another song that was also leaked early during the rollout. But the song definitely packs lots of catchy lines and has plenty of fun summer vibes, and I could definitely see it being a summer playlist favorite. Plus Young Thug also could prove to be an important factor, as he manages to blend in quite well and he stacks up greatly against Melly's powerful vocals. Regarding the previously released singles, apart from Best Friends for Life, I quite enjoyed all of them to a certain extent, but they weren't Melly's best offerings, with YNS barely being a Melly song, as it was almost completely dominated by YNW Ghana, who quite impressed me and I'm looking forward to hearing more songs from him. The last song that I'm going to address here is Loving Your Life, which is one of the few solo Melly cuts on the album, and when compared to the other solo cut, Green Side, Loving Your Life is way better and way more fleshed out, the production being crisp and clear, and the vocal performance of Melly being one of the best on the album. While it isn't as strong as Take Care or Mind of Melvin, with a little bit of push from 100k or 300 Entertainment, this one too could become a minor hit, but the excessive swearing might limit its appeal for some. Before moving on to the bad parts of the album, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button to get some some more awesome content like this, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest news of the trap, rap and R&B world. I'll start off by saying that I still do not agree with the inclusion of Nana Boo Boo as a song, as it has definitely overstayed its welcome, as it was a hit on TikTok earlier this year, but since then its appeal has definitely died down and I don't see many people reviving the song on TikTok. I feel like the inclusion of a newer song would have been a smarter choice, because it would have also helped to push the streaming numbers up. Another aspect that bothered me was Future's inclusion on the Freddy Krueger remix, because I was quite fond of the original one. Initially I was worried that Future would include his more melodic flow, which is quite a hit and miss at times, never knowing what you really get. Luckily we didn't get Future's more melodic style, as his verse was quite decent and he blended in quite alright. What bothered me was the fact that they played around with the song structure, because initially T Grizzly had his verse quite early on within the song, but unfortunately he gets moved around into the second half of it. I feel like T Grizzly's verse should have been left in its original place and Future's verse moved before the last chorus in order to serve as a build-up. I feel like this small change would have made the song way better and maybe improve upon the original, but unfortunately this didn't happen. Another aspect that bothers me from the album is the beat selection, as Best Friends for Life literally reused the same beat as No Holiday, something that just screams as laziness to me, because 100K management has signed 4 producers to their roster and one of them could have easily cooked up another beat with a really similar vibe to it. Despite mentioning Capri Sun Fun within my good section, I was quite annoyed by the fact that they switched up the mixing on the song, as at times the summary sample gets drowned out by the quite heavy 808s, which for some might be annoying and quite a turnoff. The mixing on the original one was way better, as it found the perfect balance between the sample and the 808s which were much more subtle. Alterations were also brought to mind of Melvin, but I will be less critical of these, as I sort of understood the reasoning behind the removal of an Uzi verse, who was addressing the killing of Zack Chaser and Juvie, with Uzi saying, "I know you didn't kill them boys." Plus I sort of understand the removal of the opening build-up, as some might consider it quite dragged out and might provoke some of the more casual fans to click out. Another aspect that slightly bothered me was Kevin Gates' presence on Far Apart, as his verse quite stood out for me in a bad way initially, but I got accustomed to it the more I listened to the song. Kevin Gates has quite a distinct voice, which initially didn't really fit in well for me with Melly's voice, but just like in the case of Drake's and Playboi Carti's Pain 1993, the more I listened to it, the more I got used to it, the more I enjoyed the song. One of the worst parts of the album for me personally was Greenside, which was an utterly disappointing song, as it was underwritten and definitely an unfinished one. Melly's vocals weren't up to par on this one, and the delivery was really mumbled and slurred in a really bad way. Just like in the case with Nana Boo Boo, the inclusion of another song would have lifted up the album quite a bit and probably also lift up its streaming numbers. Or in case they really wanted to include Greenside, they could have at least added a feature onto it to do some damage control. Another really ugly aspect of the album is that it wasn't marketed properly, because let's be honest, outside of Melly's fanbase, the album didn't really reach many people, as not even the artists featured on the album were really promoting it. And I think this just shows that Melly got quite black labeled by the industry, and just like Kodak Black, he will have quite some trouble reintegrating into an industry that doesn't really want to help him. Because let's not forget that Melly is signed to 300 Entertainment, a label which could have easily given Melly a really huge push, even making him appear on a freaking Times Square billboard if they really wanted to do this. While editing this, I stumbled upon Hello Yassin's video about the album and he kind of gave me a cold shower, and it made me realize that Melly might be in for quite a while, because he mentioned Textone, who after 5 years he is still in prison as he awaits his trial. Thus this sort of made me realize that the Florida judges have no interest of releasing Melly anytime soon, because the more prisoners they have in, the more money they can make for the private prison system. A private prison system which definitely has the pockets of the judges filled up with plenty of cash. In case Melly truly stays behind the bars for another 2 or 3 years, or maybe even 4, then having just 12 songs on the album definitely makes sense, as they are probably saving some more songs for later releases in order not to give out all the good material at once. Thus throwaways such as Greenside or the Freddy Krueger remix can sort of be forgiven. Also, in case Melly's trial fails to start in the next 2 or 3 years and his material starts to wear thin, then his brand might be quite affected and he might have an even harder time to adjust back to the industry than Kodak Black had, because besides the fact that Kodak Black was blackballed, his buzz has also decreased significantly. For now, Melly seems safe, as from 2019 to 2020 he actually managed to increase his listeners number and his stream numbers on Spotify, but this increase might not be sustainable for another 3 or 4 or even 5 years without no new material available. Now please let me know down in the comment section, when do you think that Melly will come home, and do you think that he still has plenty of material left within his vault? Also please let me know whether you enjoyed the project or not and how would you rank it. Speaking of which, time to reveal my grade. Overall, I rank the project as a strong 5, light 6, maybe even a really light 7, as it was definitely better than expected, having some really good songs that carried the project, but it also had some cuts that really brought down the pacing and energy of the album, with songs such as Greenside. This was also a project that was released from jail, so I can't be that hard on it, because everyone had to work with limited material and limited creative freedom. In case Melly's jail stint gets prolonged, hopefully his next projects will be at least at the same standard as this one. If not, then the future prospects of his musical career might be looking bleak for him. But fingers crossed that Melly will be out soon and he can further evolve his musical career without any disturbances and setbacks. But until he is out, don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more awesome content like this. For now, this has been Trapology 101. Till next time, stay safe and see you around, folks.